2013 Triumph Tiger 800 XC. This I've only got about 30 minutes on this bike, and what we did initially, it had the suspension was raised up in the triple trees, probably 2 inches or so. We had to drop that back down, and it had lowering links on it, so it dropped the whole bike down, the ass end essentially. So it was a little too low for our comfort. We raised everything up, got it all back to stock, I believe, or close as we can, and it feels pretty good. This trip we're taking is we're going to VIR to watch Moto America. That's going to be a completely separate video because I want to get some really good shots for you guys. I'm not sure which video will come out first. Whichever one does, I'll leave a link in the description or a video of it at the end. You can click on and it'll take you right to it. I'm really excited about that. We're meeting some up. We're going back to Street Bike Josh's house. We're going to meet him and our buddy Scott. This trip, avoiding highways, is about 3 hours. One way. So you're going to do 3 hours that way, 3 hours back. That way it'll give us enough time to feel out the bike, how well she rides, little things that we may or may not like about it that we want to adjust. I do know right now we want to get bar risers, because the bars, even though we moved them down some to kind of pull them back, they still feel like I'm a little too far forward. So we want to put bar risers on them so we can get them up a little bit, tilt them back a little more, make it feel a little more planted for these longer trips, and take it from there. This is really exciting. The main reason we bought this Triumph Tiger is we took a trip on our Kawasaki Concourse, and I'll leave that video at the end of this one, something you can click on and watch. We took a trip on the Concourse around Virginia, and I think it's at least a 2-part video. It might be 3. I'm still editing all that stuff, so I'm unsure yet. So you guys have already seen it, and right now I'm I'm still working on the editing and piecing it all together. But the guys that we went with all had adventure bikes, just like this Tiger. I quickly found out that not only is it difficult to keep up with these adventure bikes and the experience that these guys have on them, especially in the mountains and all the curves and the twisties and everything, but it definitely hates going off-road. We went up and down some gravel paths and roads and stuff while we were up in Montebello, and it hated it. The ass end was all over the place. It was bouncing up and down, and it was like we were riding on ice, you know. So after those few days on it, we decided we were going to buy an adventure bike, something that we can do everything on. So we ended up finding this gym and jumped on it, and now here we are. This is kind of like a little mini trip, even though we're not camping. We're going to spend the entire day on the bikes and watching Moto America race at VIR. We're doing a lot of moto camping this summer. We got some really cool trips planned, a lot of scenic routes. We're avoiding all highways at all costs. And with that in mind, you've got to have a bike that can do it. These Tigers they're just great overall. I've never been on one. This is my first time buying one and actually really riding it. But from what I've read and the people I've talked to about it in the different forums and all that, they're great. We're going to see if it lives up to its name. I do like the weight of this thing. Dirt bikes and all that stuff, you know, everything fluctuates as far as weight. But we've been mainly riding a bike that is 620 pounds dry. And this one, I believe, is 400 and some, just over 400 dry. So the weight is hugely different, and that is a very big selling point for me. That's a key factor, because we're doing off-road riding and all that. You got to have a lighter bike, you know. 600 plus pound bike is a lot to handle when you're going around corners and trying to take it off-road and doing all that stuff with it. Woo, woo, woo. Damn, did y'all see that? I hope I got that on camera. I almost landed on my helmet. Things that you don't experience in a car. I'm telling you, man. Just little stuff like that. Just makes you want to get a bike. The 2013 Triumph Tiger 800 XC since 6:30 this morning. We rode up to VIR, we watched Moto America. That's really awesome. I'm going to put the video out specifically for that. And then we rode it all the way back. We did a lot of avoiding the highways on the way there. On the way back, we took the interstate some and some more of the faster routes, just so I can kind of see a little bit what the bike is capable of and higher speeds or in lower speeds or whatever. It's really easy to speed on this thing. I've noticed that we just passed a cop and I'm doing 70 in a 55, and it's so smooth you don't even really notice it. I will say at higher speeds, I'm not going to say what higher speeds we went to. It felt a little more unstable, but that could have been the wind, could have been draft, or the boxes on the back, panniers, a lot of different factors. But I feel like overall this was a great purchase. We did a little bit of off-roading stuff when we were at VIR, and it handled well. Overall, I think it's impressive, and I'm really looking forward to having plenty of adventures on it and really seeing what else we can do with it, because this is just mainly all road that we're riding. I want to get on some dirt roads. I want to get, I don't know about some single track, maybe some double track or something like that, up in the mountains or at the beach, take it through the sand, see what we can do out there, and really just have a good time with it. And that was the whole point of buying this bike, because the direction we're going with moto camping and all that fun stuff, you gotta have an adventure bike to do it. Now, you don't have to, but it does help, especially when you ride with the group that we ride with, that sometimes they'll just dip off into a side road somewhere. It turns out to be a dirt road for 10 miles, and you want to be prepared for that. It feels great. The one thing I do notice is the seat is very comfortable. It's fairly soft, and there's only been a couple times I've really had to stand up to shift, a little bit, or to kind of move around and stretch my legs out some. Not too many times, surprisingly, in the, well, how many miles we've rode today since 6:30 this morning. We've been on the road, and it's 6:47 right now. So basically the whole day, besides a few hours we spent at VIR. It's fairly comfortable. I'm surprised, because I figured it would handle more like a dirt bike instead of like a street bike, I guess. And it's kind of a really good mix of both. The only downside that I noticed, it really isn't even a downside, it's just something that's you got to pay more attention to than you would on a bike that has a bigger fuel tank. It is the fuel tank. 5.5 gallons. I think we filled up 3 times, which 2 times would have been necessary, I guess. The 3rd time was just so I had 99 miles to go. Could have made it home and still made it to the gas station in the morning on my way to work, but I don't want to have to deal with that in the morning, so we just went ahead and filled it up, and we're good to go. So the next, day or two at least. I'm actually impressed with how much power this bike has and the delivery of it. Like, it's very torquey when you get on the throttle. Like you give it just a little, it wants to jump up and go. And that I really like. Our dirt bikes are like that, and I can handle them extremely well. Well, for my style of riding, I can handle them well. So this is the initial review of it, and I'll do like a 6-month or a year review, or however long. I'll keep updates on it and all that, and whatever we decide to do to it, and if we break something or fix something or anything like that, I'll make sure I do videos of that as well, and keep you all in the loop. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have a Triumph Tiger, or you have any requests as far as what you'd like, or if you have any ideas or any things or any thoughts on stuff that I should watch out for with these bikes. I know the starters going out are one of the things that you got to watch out for with them, but luckily, and it's unfortunate for the previous owner, but it went out on him right before I bought it, so he had put a new starter on it. So the starter is brand new, practically brand new. So that's kind of a win for us, fail for him. Sorry, dude. But besides that, if you guys have anything you would like for me to go over, I will, and I will keep everyone up to date on the bike's progress and what we do with it and where we take it and all that good stuff. I'm really excited to be on this beast. It's an enjoyable ride. It's a lot of fun. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share the video if you want. Share it with everybody. Let your buddies know what Old 10's up to now. Until next time, I'm Tim Westmoto.